What happens when the world's third largest economy slams into a trade wall? Today we got our answer. Japan's Nikkei 205 crashed 2,177 points, a staggering 8.2%, marking the steepest one-day plunge since the pandemic crash of March 2020. And the reason? Tariffs. More specifically, Trump's trade offensive is landing like an economic warhead in East Asia.
Markets are in freefall. Circuit breakers are tripping.
Investors are running. And this might be just the beginning. Chapter 1. The plunge that shocked Tokyo. Monday morning, Tokyo's trading floor opened to a storm. Within the first hour, the Nikkei 225 nosedived by over 2,000 points. By midday, losses accelerated, triggering a full halt in futures trading as the index crossed the 9% loss threshold. Final tally? Down 2,177 points. That's a drop of 8.22% in a single session, wiping out nearly $600 billion in market value in a matter of hours. Chapter 2. Across the Pacific, a trade shock. What triggered this collapse? 2 words: Trump's tariffs. On Friday, President Trump announced a sweeping 24% tariff on all Japanese exports as part of his new trade reset policy.
The tariffs took immediate effect Monday morning.
Japan's automotive, electronics, and machinery sectors were instantly crushed. Toyota down 10.4%. Sony off 11.7%.
Hitachi lost 12.2%.
These aren't just companies. They're pillars of the Japanese economy, and the blow was surgical. Chapter 3. Ripple effect across Asia. The shock didn't stop in Tokyo. South Korea's Kospi fell nearly 5%. Australia's ASX 200 slid 6%.
Taiwan and Singapore both posted losses over 4%.
This is now a regional crisis.
Investors fear similar tariffs on other U.S. trade partners, especially those with large trade surpluses.
Add to that a rising U.S. dollar, capital flight, and collapsing export forecasts, and you've got a full-blown Asian market meltdown. Chapter 4. 99% of stocks fell. Tokyo's prime market, Japan's equivalent of the S&P 500, saw 99% of its listed companies in the red. That's not just rare.
It's historic.
Such synchronized selling usually happens during natural disasters, global recessions,
military conflict.
But this time, it's pure economic retaliation. A weaponized tariff policy dropped like a bomb, and everyone ran for cover.
Chapter 5. The real target. Trade imbalance.
Trump's logic is simple. We're not going to let other countries keep running massive trade surpluses off the back of American consumers. Japan's trade surplus with the U.S. last year, $67 billion. In Trump's eyes, that's exploitation. And he just pulled the trigger. The goal?
Force supply chain relocation, rebalance trade, and flood the U.S. with manufacturing jobs.
Whether you agree or not, the message is loud. Play fair or pay tariffs. Chapter 6. Can Japan survive this? Short term. Pain. Exports account for nearly 18% of Japan's GDP, and the U.S. is their largest single market. A 24% tariff turns profit margins to dust overnight.
Long term.
Unclear.
Japan may be forced to negotiate new terms with the U.S.
Shift supply chains to Southeast Asia.
Invest in domestic demand.
But all of that takes time, and the market wants answers now. Chapter 7. Currency crisis next. The Japanese yen hit a new 34-year low against the U.S. dollar following the tariff news. This adds even more pressure.
Imported goods get pricier.
Bond yields spike.
Central bank credibility gets tested.
If capital keeps fleeing Japanese assets, a currency crisis could follow. And the Bank of Japan is already cornered with ultra-low rates and massive debt.
They don't have many moves left.
Chapter 8. The Chinese angle. Beijing is watching this closely. China has been through multiple rounds of U.S. tariffs, and now Japan's getting the same treatment.
Will this push China and Japan closer together? Will it fracture Asian economic unity?
Will it start a tariff race to the bottom? One thing is certain, Asia is on edge. And that could shift the entire global balance of trade. Chapter 9. Wall Street braces for impact. U.S. markets haven't opened yet, but futures are already flashing red.
Dow futures down 600 plus points. NASDAQ futures off 2.3%.
Treasury yields climbing as investors seek shelter.
Wall Street knows if Japan can be hit this hard, no one is safe.
Global capital is now in motion, and it's heading for the exits. Chapter 10. What happens next?
The Nikkei is now down 16% in just 2 weeks. This isn't a correction. It's a collapse.
If Trump doubles down on tariffs, or if other nations retaliate, we could see
global trade deceleration,
recession in East Asia, major currency realignments. The 2024 global economy just entered uncharted territory, and it all started with a tweet, a tariff, and a market too fragile to take another hit. Stay alert.
This isn't over. It's just beginning.